Oh, you're seeing it right, boys. This is Warlords of Draenor, the Garrison loading screen. Oh, yeah. Okay, now, don't be scared now. Don't be scared now. We're not gonna play Warlords of Draenor. That's fine. We're just using the Garrison as a tool to make gold. And this is very important if you're serious about making gold, because once you're done with the optimizing, which can take some time, basically the time that you'll be spending in your Garrison is about 10 minutes per day. And that's important because it has a lot of gold potential. Now, this is going to be the second episode in our gold making guide, and the first one is linked in the description below. It helps you understand what TSM is and how you can set it up. And now we're just going to go on how you can make gold with professions and garrisons, so stay tuned. Now, the first thing that you will want to get before we start off is the Masterplan add-on. Oh, Masterplan, we've had this in a while. Well, Masterplan and a few others. This is to optimize your missions, and the other ones that I have, let's see. Plus, a lot of people have been asking what add-ons I use, so this is the list of add-ons that I have. Garrison Commander, this works for, apparently this works for WoD as well as your current missions that you have, as well as it worked in Legion also. Basically, Masterplan lets you optimize your followers so that you don't have too many with the same trait and not enough with all the traits that you do want, because followers will be important. This is the first thing that you need to do. Now, the second thing that you need to do is actually upgrade your Garrison, and this is ideally how your Garrison should look. You're gonna want Great Hall level 3, just because it unlocks as many plots to build in as possible. Now, you're gonna need to think about what profession you're going to be doing this with, because ideally you want 1 profession per character. 2, if you really have the goal to invest in buying all of those mats. I currently have tailoring on my Warlock. Now, we're going to talk about 2 main professions in particular, tailoring and leatherworking, but this is not to say that the other ones are not as profitable. I personally enjoy these ones. They're the easiest to do. They're the ones that have the most punch to them, because you're essentially making bags with tailoring and you're making gliders and drums with leatherworking. So they're essentially things that people use. Although the bags might become obsolete soon, it's a 30 slot bag, and we'll be soon making 32 slots, but still 30 slot bag is easier to make, considering that you'll be spending 5 to 10 minutes a day trying to make these bags. You're gonna make probably 1 or 2 bags per day, or 1 bag every other day, depending on how much you invest in tailoring. Now, you're gonna need to get the Great Hall to level 3. After that, you're gonna need your inn, Frostwall Tavern, or in this case the Alliance Inn, to be at least level 2, because for level 2 you're going to be able to recruit followers each week. And why that's important is because you're going to choose the traits for your followers, and we'll go into that, why that's important also. The next thing that you'll need is your profession building. I have the Tailoring Emporium, which is level 3 for me because I want to put in as many work orders as possible. I recommend level 3, and of course if you have a follower with a tailoring trait, just push that boy right in to give you those maximum orders so you can get that maximum cloth back, which is important for making bags, especially for tailoring. Additionally, to make sure that you don't farm Warlords of Draenor in any way, shape or form, you're gonna need Trading Post. This is where you're going to buy your mats. Now, I recommend having this to around 1, 2, it's not really that important. I just got it to 3 because it's easy, I don't care. And what this is going to be used for, you're just going to buy your mats that you're going to need for profession. You're not going to go and skin beasts, you're not going to mine herbs, you're not just going to go kill and grab the leather or the cloth, and you're not going to buy them off of the auction house, because why would you do that? You can just buy them here with Garrison resources, and this is where the followers come into play. And additionally, this is optional, but it does help get the salvage yard to level 3. Now, to actually get the salvage yard mat, you will need to do, I believe, the quest line in Spires of Arak with the goblins at the south. I think somewhere here, Pinch Whistle Gearworks Spires of Arak. I think that's where you get the rank 1 mat for the salvage yard. And the other ones, you just buy them from the goblin. And yeah, all the other blueprints that you don't yet have for ranks 2 and higher, you get from this guy. Ranks 1 usually I either bought, or they give them if you level through Draenor. If you didn't do this before and you skip Draenor, you might want to consider getting all the mats necessary for Garrison rank 3 if you're serious about making gold. or at least use this on a character where you did play Draenor on. Now, once you have all the buildings, it should pretty much look like this. You'll have extra slots. You can get essentially storehouse also helps, but I have scribe's quarters. I might replace that at some point. Now, also I didn't mention the salvage yard is very important because you're going to be doing a lot of missions, and missions bring back where we got crates, right? Crates of salvageable goods. Large crate or salvage crate, whatever. You're gonna get these things. If you pop these things, you're gonna get a lot of items that you're gonna be selling for gold. You're gonna get transmog items, which are good for your character if you care about that shit. More importantly, you're gonna get mats. The mats are random from all professions, so it doesn't really. You're not guaranteed to get the mats that you want from this. So don't put your money in the basket for this. Don't put your eggs in the basket for this. That's how you say it. But since you're going to be doing a lot of missions, these are passive gains. You don't need to worry about them. You're going to get, this is basically just free income that you can take advantage of. So I'd recommend getting the salvage yard because you might save up a lot of gold, and anything that's extra you can just sell to the auction house. It doesn't really matter. Now, once you have your garrison set up, we're going to go to what you're going to be using your garrison for. Now, to start things off, we're going to talk about Garrison resources, because you're going to be using those to buy mats, and you need those resources so that you don't actually farm the content that's 2 expansions old. Why would you want to do that? And to do that, you're going to do missions, and you're mostly focusing on Garrison resource missions. Right now, with the add-ons on, you'll be looking like this. So we just finished a batch of missions, and they take a lot less than any other expansion. So they take a couple of hours at the very most. You can essentially do this 2-3 times a day. I'd recommend them doing at least once per day. You can do it more if you want to. Obviously, it's more profitable, but I personally don't feel like logging into the Garrison every time, like 2 or 3 times a day. That's not what I play WoW, but it's good. So you're gonna want to do the missions because you have the big ones, and why it's important for you to do the missions because you're going to be getting followers with the scavenger trait, extreme scavenger to be precise. This is what you'll be looking for. This will increase the amount of resources that you're going to be getting, meaning that, well, more garrison resources, more mats that you buy from trade posts, more money that you're going to be making. Of course, they will start at lower level, and you'll need to level them up. Now, how do you get these followers, you say? Well, you get them from the Frostwall Inn. And depending on what character you're going to be doing this on, you're probably going to have a bunch of followers already from the time that you played your garrison. So you might want to deactivate some of them that are not that important. So you're going to go to the level 2 inn or tavern or whatever you have, talk to your headhunter, and you're going to be choosing a follower, right? You're going to want to get by trait, and you're going to choose increased rewards, extreme scavenger. This is what you want, and you choose a recruit, and now you have a list of 3. Now let's see. This is where the Masterplan add-on comes into play, because you can see how many basically followers with this trait on. So you have no followers that counter group damage. So I kind of want to get this guy, even though these guys are rares. I already have 3 other guys that do these, and one guy, the Riza 94 level guy, is already an extreme scavenger, because those are the only ones that are not 100 yet. So we're gonna get this guy because I need him trait to fill in all the other things that my characters don't do. So I'm gonna hire this follower, skadoosh, just like that. Ooh, I got an achievement. Now, since I'm already maxed at all of the followers, I will need to disable one, and I actually have no idea which one to disable. Well, that's why we have the add-on again. We're gonna go back to the mission table, go to followers, and we're gonna need to disable some guys. Now, which guys are we gonna disable? Well, I have 5 people that counter minion swarms. Let's see. Let's see, minion swarms, can I... Oh, okay, and if you click them, you can see which ones counter these, because I have the most of. I think 5 those, 5 those. I have 9 with extreme scavengers, which is good. And I can either get this guy out. Let's see. I have 3 others that counter that, 5 others that counter that. So this guy is essentially useless at the moment. Shadowhunter Rala, so I'm gonna deactivate this guy, because I have a lot of others that can fill in for him. So I can use the new follower, which is not this one actually. Yeah. Now once you have your followers, you're gonna start doing missions. Of course, at the beginning they will be low level, and sometimes the add-on bugs out like that. What the fuck is with this shit? There we go. They're gonna start low level, so you're gonna have to gear them up. So it's a process that you're going to have to go through. But once they reach a certain level, you're gonna start getting that Garrison resources a lot. So I want this 195. Of course, you would have to prioritize those. Getting that. Do I have a better one? I have a 195 there as well. And they're really... Garrison missions in general are really cheap compared to the other expansions. Look, 525. Yeah. Yep, once you have all the followers up and running, you're gonna get like over 1k resources on certain missions. Right. And after that, you can just level them up. It costs like 10 per mission, and it's worth it because you're gonna need to get them to a high level as much as possible. Plus, you're gonna get the salvageable crates, which is also good. Make sure that you try as much as possible to prioritize the highest completion chance missions that you can, so that you can optimize. Of course, look, 100%. That's good. And so on and so forth. I do have this last one. This is the new guide that I just got. So it's a 35% chance. Most likely it's gonna fail. Doesn't really matter. I don't care. It's 10 resources that can potentially give me salvageable crates. And this is the first thing that you'll be doing as part of your daily activities. Make sure that you also catch your Garrison cache. It usually fills in about 2 days, 3 days, I think. Something like that. And after you have that, you're gonna need to do your daily mats. And I'm going to use the tailoring as an example, right? For you to craft the hexweave bags, you're gonna need hexweave cloth, right? Where do we have hexweave cloth, right? You can only make a batch per day. You're gonna need the Gorgon fly trap and sumptuous fur, and you're gonna start ranking that hexweave cloth. Now, after you do that, if you need any other mats to complete any other process, you're gonna go to your trading post, and from trading post you're gonna want to buy resources. Now, there's a couple of tips that I want to make. Depending on what you normally have, if you don't, I'm gonna say this from the perspective that you don't want to spend any time farming anything. So you can essentially buy everything here except for the sorceress earth, which is this thing. This you can buy off of the auction house. You can buy if you can make through the naval missions, but I don't really care much for that. This is the only one that I think I'm buying off of the auction house. Everything else I'm buying from here. So I need sumptuous fur, right? I need sumptuous fur to make the cloth that I want. And you can see that the prices for the mats differ depending on the day of the week. The cheapest you'll ever get them for is 16, and as it happens, it's 16, and I need sumptuous fur, so I'm gonna buy as much as possible. I don't think I can buy 100, so let's go with like 80, because I don't have enough resources just yet. I've just bought a bunch a while back. I'm just keeping 200 resources on the backbone, but of course buy as much as possible. You can buy sumptuous fur and Gorgon fly trap. Those are necessary for tailoring. If you want to buy for other professions, raw beast hide for your leatherworking, it's 40 now, so don't buy it when it's 40. Buy it when it's 16, and just save up the resources. Once you see it's 16, just sink all of those resources in and buy the whole shit. And of course, this goes the same way for all the other professions, depending on what you want to do. Now, once you have all the mats, once you've done your daily cooldowns, like the hexweave cloth, you're gonna want to do the orders as well with what you have left. For the tailoring, I also have a follower here, so I'm gonna do the orders. And with the followers bonus active, I have 21 orders, and that's gonna give me more hexweave cloth. And with that, you're pretty much done. You just need to craft, and I'm going to craft my hexweave bags. Let's see, I need a little bit more sorcerer's earth, which I'll need to get off of the auction house. Now, once you're next to the auction house, I have around 700 hexweave cloth, so I can make 7 bags. So I've just queued up. Let's see, let's just do this back. I want to make 7 bags. You don't need to do the restock selective groups this time, since you're making something very specific. I'm just going to go, where are my bags? Hexweave cloth, hexweave bag, there we go. I'm just gonna queue 7 of these bad boys, right? There we go. We have 7, right? This is what we want to make for our daily Garrison professions. Of course, I still need to gather the Sorcerer's Earth. So I'm going to do the same thing. Click Gathering, click Open Task List. It will tell you if you have anything on your alt. As it happens, I just got everything from my alt, but it will show here that you need to log out and log in a specific alt. So the add-on actually scans all of your alts in case you have some leftover mats. Be as efficient, don't buy like everything, so that's fine. Scan all, and we're gonna get the mats. Now once you've bought whatever it is that you need, I bought just a bunch of Sorcerer's Earth for what was it again? 1192 gold, so that's actually pretty good. Of course, you need to look at the price. Oh, and one thing that I did want to mention, and I didn't mention this in the previous video, and it's actually a fair thing to look for. When you look for mats to buy off of the auction house, if it's not something very specific, let's say Sorcerer's Earth, right? The prices will differ, right? So look at this. You'll see a percentage here. This is the percentage of the value of the item. I'm not sure if I'm explaining this right, that the market sees as profitable. So if it's below 100%, you're essentially getting a deal. This is like a 5% discount. Think about it this way, right? The best time to buy anything off of the auction house after the add-on scans your market value for that item is when this item is in blue. Blue, green, that's probably when it's the best time. Yellow, it's only if it's something that you really need to get, if it's something important for your professions. Red, never. I'm never gonna buy Sorcerer's Earth for 12 gold. Where is it? 12 gold a pop, right? 7 gold is what I bought this for. I think it was cheaper than 7 gold, the batch that I got it. So it was basically a good deal. For me, it wasn't the best deal, but it was a deal nonetheless. So that's good. So whenever you buy off of the auction house, keep in mind this is very important. What the fuck, man? 20 gold? Yeah. So you're gonna have that, of course. And of course, once you have all of that shit, you just go back to crafting. And we're gonna craft our hexweave bags like so. And then of course, we're gonna sell them. And once I have all the bags that I want to sell, we already discussed in the previous episode that I already have a hexweave bags group with operations. Just a quick reminder, this is just for the bags. This is the personal calculation that I'm using. It's the basic formula that the add-on gives you plus 200 gold. The 200 gold is something that I do personally because the first batch of bags that I put in were sold pretty quickly, so I just wanted to make sure that I'm selling them for a little bit higher than what the add-on is basically calculating as the average minimum price. And yeah, that's basically something that you need to decide for yourself. And let's see, I want to auction my bags. I'm gonna click on the hexweave bags. I'm gonna run a post scan and see what comes up. And there we go. Bags are currently sold for 2.4k, which is okay-ish. It's good considering that we can still make 32 slots. I have 10 bags, so that's automatically 24k gold. And how much did this take me to make? Just a couple of days. This is just passive income. Depends how much hexweave cloth you can bunch up. So essentially, to make one bag, it takes you like 2, maybe 5 minutes per day. So in 2 minutes you get 2.3 gold. Of course, this is just a number, but it gives you a better idea as to how quickly you can actually make these things. So I'm just gonna post everything that I have, and I'm gonna wait for the gold. And this is it. You're gonna be doing the same thing for the gliders. You're gonna be doing the same thing for the drums and whatever other professions you can get. You can do this not with just the bags, but you can do this with essentially old profession items like Legion mats. You can do this with Draenor mats. You can just make a group, add all of your items in, and just do this. The beauty with the Garrison is that you can actually get all of the mats without investment in the content. You don't need to farm, you don't need to buy. So this is why Garrison is a little bit better than, let's say, the Order Hall or anything like that. Because the way the Garrison was made, you can actually get all of the mats with no effort and no money spent on your part. Maybe except with the Sorcerer's Earth, but that's mainly it. So this is why I think you should consider Garrisons as a valid way of making gold. I will highly recommend this. Drums and gliders will sell for expansions to come, unless they find better drums, which I doubt. Because, well, you don't want drums to give more buff than the actual bloodlust. And of course, bags will always be good. The value of the 30 slot bag might decrease over time, so you don't really want to rely on this too much. But until then, whee, 2.3k gold. And prices might change during the time of the expansion. It's usually a lot higher at the beginning. It might be even higher once September hits, when the raids are here. So you don't want to sell everything. That's why I don't sell everything. I still have a couple of bags left over, and I'm trying to put all of them out on September. I expect that's when it's going to be probably the most profitable time to sell things on the auction house. So this has been for the Garrison episode. I hope you guys like it. If you have any questions, make sure you check the description below. Make sure you check the description below for the first episode of the gold making guide. You're gonna see how you can set up TSM right there. And also check our Discord. Any questions that you have, pop them on Discord. We can answer them a little bit more quickly. They stay, everybody can see them, you can have more input from everybody else, but of course we're gonna answer pretty much all the questions on the YouTube as well, as much as we can. So keep making those gold, get that Brutosaur, boys, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.